This is CBC Here and Now.
A fatal single-engine plane crash near Makkovik. A Labrador rescue crew goes the extra mile to reach the two stranded men.
And in the weather forecast, we have some scattered showers or flurries for parts of the province, but then some clearing as we head into the weekend. I'll have all your weather details coming up.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain, live from our CBC newsroom in St. John's. Let's get right to our top story. One man is dead, another injured after a plane crashed near Makkovik yesterday. And today, a local Labrador crew is being praised for its exceptional rescue efforts. Here and Now's Jacob Barker is on this story and he joins us live. So Jacob, what have you learned so far?
Well, that's right, Anthony. There has been nothing but praise for that search and rescue team out of Makkovik. The 9-person crew traveled 75 kilometers through some of the worst conditions that you could imagine to reach the site of that crash. There they were met with a steep incline up a hillside and a big job to get done. Blizzard-like conditions prevented military aircraft from reaching the men. A ground team went as far as it could, but once they got close, they had to abandon their machines.
So within about 500 meters, our team had to stop and then basically walk and crawl up the steep mountain to try and get to the coordinates.
The Piper Malibu single-engine aircraft was en route to Greenland. It was about 200 kilometers out of Goose Bay when it crashed into the side of a hill. When the rescuers got to the site, reaching the men stuck inside the plane was no easy task.
They assessed the scene, not knowing how stable the aircraft was on the steep incline. A bit nervous didn't want to knock it down the hill. They called back and said that they were on scene and we're going to do their best to get the aircraft crew members off the hill.
The Labrador crew managed to get the two men out of the small plane, back down to their snowmobiles and onto Makkovik. They were eventually airlifted back to Goose Bay. Major Mark Norris of the Joint Rescue Center in Halifax says the team demonstrated remarkable character and ability.
This turned out, in terms of recovering them, it was just an exceptional bunch of actions by that ground SAR team to make sure that, in this case, that the survivor got to medical care in Goose Bay. It took some time, but we got him there.
Now, police haven't released his identity, but the man who lost his life in that accident is a 74-year-old from the United Kingdom. A Belgian national, though, that did manage to get out. He is staying right here in this hotel, and we did manage to have a few words with him, but he was too tired to speak with us. But he did say that he was very, very thankful to the crews that came to get him out. Reporting live for Here and Now in Happy Valley Goose Bay, I'm Jacob Barker.
One person is dead and two others are in hospital after a head-on collision in western Newfoundland. It happened yesterday in the Bonbay Pond area, about 25 kilometers north of Deer Lake. The highway to the northern peninsula was closed around 6 p.m. as police and firefighters and paramedics responded to that crash. One lane opened again a few hours later, and police haven't released any more details about that crash.
Time now for a quick look at your weather forecast, starting with some weather headlines. We do have some more mixed precipitation on the way for the east and parts of the northeast coast, and some flurries for the Labrador coast for tonight and continuing tomorrow. And it's still looking like a beauty of a Saturday for most of the province. So looking ahead to tomorrow, you can see in the west, in Labrador and on the island, things are looking fairly clear. Some flurries continuing along the Labrador coast, and could see that mixed precipitation for the northeast coast and parts of central tomorrow. So temperature-wise, we're looking pretty good. St. John's 4 degrees. Could see some scattered flurries, or that could be some showers. Gander, Grand Falls, Windsor, that more of a chance of that mixed precipitation happening there. 8 degrees though in Grand Falls, Windsor tomorrow, so that's not too bad. In Labrador, mostly a cloudy day for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and those flurries continuing for the Cartwright area, about 2 centimeters expected there tomorrow, and a cloudy day coming for Lab City. So that's your Friday forecast, and coming up, I will have your Saturday forecast.
How do you solve a problem like hunger in marginalized communities? All over this province, there are businesses taking on complex social challenges, showing us how these things can be done. And this week, during Innovation Week, it's their time to shine. Coming up on Here and Now, we'll be live at the Hungry Heart Cafe, where they figured out how to feed a hungry person for just $2. And we're making chicken burritos. Don't go anywhere.
Hope Zach's got to watch his fingers there. Now, an update tonight on a story we brought you yesterday. It's about a fire that forced more than 100 people from a Corner Brook apartment complex. Now, some of the residents are able to move home tonight. 138 tenants fled that apartment complex on Beothuk Crescent early yesterday morning when the building filled up with smoke. Firefighters contained the flames to one unit, although a second apartment was damaged. The city says residents who live on the second, third, and fourth floors can move in later this evening, but the first floor still needs to be cleaned up. It'll be at least another night before that gets done. A man acquitted of murder is now a free man after additional charges have been dropped. 28-year-old Stephen Neville was acquitted last summer for the 2013 stabbing death of Doug Flynn. That acquittal came after he had initially been found guilty of second-degree murder. Now, after the acquittal, he had 6 more charges laid against him of assaulting a woman and spreading intimate images of her. In court today, the Crown said it wouldn't be calling any evidence and asked for the charges to be dropped. A website accused of stealing obituaries and using them to make a profit has been ordered to pay $20 million to grieving families. A federal court judge ruled Afterlife violated the copyrighted work of those families by taking the obits and photographs of the deceased, posting them online, and selling virtual gifts like sympathy cards and candles. Newfoundland lawyer Erin Best launched the class action lawsuit, and she says there are between 1 and 2 million members involved in this. The man behind Afterlife had initially hired a lawyer to handle his defense, but then backed out of the proceedings, leading to a default judgment. It also includes an injunction against the website to stop it from operating in the future. A doctor in Nova Scotia says he's fed up with writing sick notes, and he doesn't just object to the demands on his time. He says some companies ask for notes that want so many details they violate his patient's privacy rights. The CBC's Carolyn Ray explains.
Every Monday, Dr. Paul Young knows what's facing him at work. Not just a waiting room full of patients, but requests for sick notes.
I suspect if employers had to pay for the sick notes, they'd be less likely to demand a sick note after a one-day illness.
In just 5 years of practice, he's noticed a dramatic change. He's no longer scribbling sick on a doctor's prescription pad. He's now filling out several pages of paperwork for each request. And sometimes he's being asked to include copies of a patient's chart.
Give as little information as possible. The employers should not need to know a medical diagnosis. All they need to know is that there's a medical reason for it.
The notes are for people who miss 2 days of work or more for everyday illnesses. Gastrobugs, migraines, a common cold. When a woman took 2 days off after having a miscarriage, he says he was asked to detail the condition that caused her to miss work.
I don't think I'm the first person to write a letter back to an insurance company saying that it's inappropriate.
While insurance companies are bad, the worst offender, he says, is Morneau Chappelle, which provides absence management services to businesses. Morneau Chappelle says it's sensitive to the time demands on doctors and is only asking for the information that's required. It also says it is trying to protect an employee's privacy, so it only sends the relevant information on to an employer. That's not good enough for the doctor, who wants to get back to focusing on his practice. He's calling on the province to create a law that would ban sick notes for any illness that has someone off less than 5 days. Carolyn Ray, CBC News, Bedford.
World champion and 3-time Olympic medalist Caitlin Osman is retiring from figure skating.
One of the most natural performers under stress I've ever seen.
The 23-year-old made the announcement today, saying she has accomplished goals beyond her wildest dreams. Osman, of course, as most viewers of Here and Now know, was born in Marystown, now lives in Edmonton with 3 Olympic medals, 2 World Championship medals, and 3 national titles. She is Canada's most decorated female figure skater of all time. In her statement, Osman thanked her coaches, friends, and family for their continued support and said, "Leaving competition is terrifying, but I am excited to see what else life has to offer." Now, we're going to have more on Osman's retirement on Here and Now in the coming days.
We're at the Stella's Circle business, the Hungry Heart Cafe. In just a moment, we'll give you a lesson on how to make chicken burritos, sure, but how to feed a hungry person on just $2. Stick around.
Weather update is brought to you by the Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery. Early bird deadline is midnight tomorrow. Order now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
Time now for the weather forecast, starting with a look at some of the highs today across the province. On the island, we saw temperatures between 3 degrees in Bonavista and 9 degrees in St. Lawrence, and some cooler temperatures in Labrador today. Now, as we move into this evening, we have some flurries along the southeast coast of Labrador, as well as the west coast near Brook. And that mix, you can see the blue and the green, that's flurries and showers happening along the northeast coast this evening. So it's going to be, yes, quite a mix, mostly cloudy, but you'll see those spits of flurries and of showers in St. John's overnight tonight, a low of 1 degree, and very windy along the northeast coast this evening, gusts up to 80 kilometers an hour. And in Labrador, we're looking at the snowfall continuing in Cartwright, could be mixed with some showers later on. 5 centimeters of snow expected there, 2 centimeters for the Nain area overnight tonight, and some cloud cover for Labrador City. So looking ahead to Friday, we are seeing some cloud cover rather in the west coast of the island as well as the western Labrador. Some flurries continuing along the coast of Labrador. Clearing though, you can see as we get into the evening hours on Friday. So temperature wise on the Avalon Peninsula, we're looking at 4 degrees in St. John's and 6 degrees along the south coast there of the Avalon. And the windy day as well coming for the Avalon Peninsula. So gusts up to 80 kilometers an hour tomorrow. So it's going to be fairly breezy and we could see a few light flurries or showers. As we head into central area, windy there as well tomorrow. Could see some flurries or showers for the Gander area and Grand Falls, Windsor. So that trend is kind of continuing tomorrow. Clearing though on the west coast, a mix of sun and cloud. Humber Valley a little bit more cloudy, 6 degrees in Corner Brook tomorrow. As we head into the Straits, the flurries continuing for Cartwright, about 2 more centimeters expected tomorrow. And for Labrador, looking at some cloud cover for Labrador City, very light winds as well, variable 15 kilometers an hour, and some more of that messy mix of some flurries and showers along the coast there. So as we get into Friday night and Saturday, fairly clear in the west, both in Labrador and in Corner Brook. A few spits of showers and flurries there overnight on Friday night for parts of Central. And as we get into Saturday, things are looking really nice for the island. Some fairly heavy cloud cover there in the east, clearing in the west, but still looking pretty good. It's only really Labrador City that'll start seeing a bit of precipitation earlier in the day. So temperature-wise on Saturday, we're looking at 7 degrees in St. John's, 9 degrees in Grand Falls, Windsor. So the entire island really looking at a mix of sun and cloud. Port aux Basques could see some showers as we get later on into the day. A few flurries for Cartwright and Lab City, going to start seeing that mixed precipitation on Saturday. So Sunday morning, things are fairly messy. That system continues to push east, and so we'll see some rain on the island. And then we have another system coming through on Monday afternoon, and that'll also bring that mix of showers and flurries for Labrador City. Looking now at your 5-day forecast, temperature-wise, not too bad. We're not quite hitting the double digits yet. Some cloud cover there on Monday and Tuesday for the east. In Central, very similar story. Bit warmer though, getting up to 12 degrees on Monday and Tuesday with some increasing cloud on Tuesday evening. For the west, a similar story. We have a messy mix there on Sunday afternoon and warm temperatures on Monday and Tuesday. For eastern Labrador, some showers on Tuesday, but temperature-wise, still pretty good in the double digits there on Monday. And for western Labrador, this is your look at your 5-day on Monday. Some showers and some cloud cover. So that's your forecast. Anthony, back to you.
Well, thanks, Carolyn. Should mention Ashley is away for a bit. And as you can tell, here and nows look a little different as we get ready for Election Day. So it'll look a little different the next several days or so. Let's go to Ottawa now, where a meeting on Parliament Hill had all the makings of a tense and uncomfortable face-to-face. But Alberta's new Premier, Jason Kenney, and the Prime Minister spoke about some topics that they actually agree on, although they did acknowledge there are a few that they don't. It was a fairly cordial photo op this afternoon.
I know that we both share as a goal the creation of jobs and and higher incomes for Canadians. As you know, Albertans are going through a period of sustained economic adversity, and we all need to work together to turn that around.
Well, Kenney repeatedly attacked Trudeau during the recent provincial election campaign in Alberta over his energy policies. Now, before meeting with the Prime Minister, the Premier testified before a Senate committee this morning. It's studying the bill to rewrite rules for environmental assessments of big energy projects. And Kenney has promised to take the Liberal government to court over its carbon tax, and he's also threatened to hold a referendum on federal equalization if there's no progress on building a pipeline to get Alberta's oil to port. Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale toured the flood zone in the Ottawa region today. He says water levels should stabilize by tomorrow and then stay at record levels for about a week. He says people need to continue to be vigilant.
Even in that period after that, for the week, as the water levels stabilize and begin to subside, there'll still be very high water levels. And they are dangerous and they cause damage.
The region is preparing for more rain following days of record-breaking floods that forced thousands of people from their homes in Ontario and Quebec. Parts of the Ottawa River have already peaked. Residents in at least one neighborhood are being advised not to flush their toilets or shower to avoid reverse flow in the sewers. Protesters gathered outside a London court today, demanding the release of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and sharing their anger at his potential extradition to the United States to face conspiracy charges.
There's only one decision, no extradition. Please, Julian Assange.
The 47-year-old Australian journalist appeared on a video link from the British prison where he's been since leaving the Ecuador embassy. Now, today, his lawyers vowed to continue fighting efforts to have him extradited to the U.S. There, he faces a computer hacking charge with a maximum 5-year sentence for his work with U.S. Army whistleblower Chelsea Manning. Well, how about some good news in all of this tonight? Some of the most interesting businesses in our province are getting a turn in the spotlight. Innovation Week is a chance to showcase the companies and organizations that are doing things differently and taking on some of our biggest social problems. And today, several of the groups involved set up an information booth at the Avalon Mall, this to get their messages and their names out to the public.
I think it's important because a lot of people aren't aware what social enterprises are doing. There's so many problems in society, and people aren't aware that these organizations exist to overcome these problems.
This is the first time we've set up in a very open public market, and to get to share those ideas of what social enterprise is and how social enterprises can better connect with the community, I think people are very excited to learn what it is these businesses do. Absolutely. And how people can engage with them more.
And what better way to learn about social enterprise than to roll up your sleeves and actually get to work at one? Well, tonight, one of the province's best-known social enterprises is showing some Innovation Week attendees just how it's all done, and it's happening at the Hungry Heart Cafe, and that's one of the businesses Stella's Circle operates. Here now, Zach Gowdy, as you see, is there. He joins us live. So, Zach, what's happening?
Well, first of all, we're making chicken burritos, so that got me in the door. But the people here tonight are getting... Yes, of course. They're getting a lesson in the kitchen, but also a lesson in innovation and social enterprise. So let me show you what I mean. We are in the kitchen at the Hungry Heart Cafe, and as you likely know, this business is operated by Stella's Circle. The profits from the meals sold here go to fund the Stella's Circle programming, and many of the clients of Stella's Circle who often face barriers to employment sometimes find themselves working here in this very kitchen. But these are not the normal Hungry Heart crew. These are Innovation Week attendees and volunteers curious about how it all gets done, and one of the most innovative programs they're doing here is something called Meals Square. I'm here with Carolyn, the executive chef of the Hungry Heart Cafe.
Hey,
not your normal kitchen crew, Carolyn. How are these guys doing so far?
They're doing not too bad. Pretty quiet, actually. Quiet group tonight, yeah.
Well, that's quiet means working, right?
Oh,
I hear the
yes.
knives are chopping
Yes.
furiously.
Yeah.
So we all know that the Stella Circle gets a lot of value out of the Hungry Heart Cafe, but you guys have found a way to get even more social value through a real innovative program called Meals Square.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we started a couple of years ago, and basically what we do is we offer our customers an opportunity to add $2 to their bill, and that $2 goes directly to make a meal for one of our participants.
Wow.
So a nutritional meal, we've got, chicken or vegetables, lots of different things in there. We package it up and freeze it, and then people get to eat it in their homes.
So these meals sold here are already funding the regular suite of Stella Circle programming, but you're finding a way to squeeze an innovative way to get this extra value. And can you really feed a person on just $2?
Well, tonight yes, for sure. We create meals on $2. I mean, the beauty of it is we're leveraging work that's already happening. And we have trainees. We do training to people who have barriers to employment. So we actually get our trainees to help with the production. So they're learning as they do it. They're giving back to their community. It's win-win-win. It's amazing.
Carolyn, quickly, please just tell us about the need for this kind of programming, because, you guys do so much for so many people, but how many of them are also facing hunger issues that are being addressed by this Meal Square program?
Well, it's kind of mind-boggling, actually, how many people who we service, who we help, are hungry every day. And so we're just doing a little small bit, and we're where people are learning about local farms and eating vegetables and all of those things, and it's been very successful. We're really happy with it. Yeah,
that's fantastic, Aaron. Well, let's see what one of your tonight's participants are learning about. I'm going to squeeze in here and talk to Joshua, who's here with the United Church from Toronto, here for the second time at Innovation Week in St. John's. But Joshua, why did you want to be here tonight, here in the kitchen at the Hungry Heart Cafe?
Thank you. I want to just get in the ground level, see what it's really like as participants, and see this beautiful work that they're doing at the Hungry Heart's exceptional. You know,
it's funny, you come from such a big place, but do you think there are lessons and things, innovative things that are happening here in this much smaller place that you'll take home with you?
Totally. It's about listening. It's like so many things that you learn from the participants as the leaders here have shown us. It's really awesome.
Good to see you, Josh. Thanks for coming tonight. Before I let you go, you're also hosting an Innovation Week event of your own this Saturday, right?
Absolutely. So it's like Dragon's Den, except proverbially if Jesus was running it, not venture capitalists. People with ideas that want to try something cool, work with mentors for the day, and then they pitch for grant money. So check it out, socialinnovationchallenge.ca.
That is a really cool idea, Josh. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to everybody for letting us film this great work that's happening here tonight. And you can come down to the Hungry Heart Cafe anytime for a meal, but you can check out all that's happening on Innovation Week. Just check that out, Innovation Week. You can look it up online. And Anthony, I know this meal is just in the chopping stage, but I'm already getting hungry, so we might have to wrap this up.
Me too. So listen, can you take out your pad and pencil? I have an order for you to bring back when you're done there.
Yeah. Oh, it'll definitely make it to you. Don't worry about that.
Of course. You'll eat half of the way home. That's here now, Zach Gowdy. What a conflict of interest in that assignment.
Scientists say things will be much, much worse unless we take serious and immediate action.
As you can tell, Zach, the hardest working person here and now tonight, the clock is ticking towards some problems, climate change issues, unless the world acts fast. So what's the plan in this province? That's ahead. Welcome back to Here and Now in the CBC Newsroom. After years of warnings, the fight against climate change seems to have finally get the world's attention. Even a small province like ours has to shoulder a share of the work that's needed. Now, the province recently released a climate change report, but that plan has some big pieces missing. Once again, here's Zach Gowdy.
People everywhere are waking up to the urgent threat posed by climate change. To prevent the worst, every corner of the world, no matter how big or small, needs to do its part. So what's our plan? In the big picture, all provinces are part of Canada's commitments under the Paris Climate Accords. By cutting greenhouse gas emissions, countries hope to keep the global temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius, a threshold for climate disaster. Recent reports say Canada is warming twice as fast as the global average. From the year 2000 to 2050, temperatures in Newfoundland are projected to rise by 2.5 to 3 degrees in the summer, 3.5 to 5 degrees in the winter. In Labrador, warming will be even more severe. Northern communities will be transformed by climate change, with winters more than 7 degrees hotter. With those temperatures, hurricanes and tropical storms will hit us harder and more often. Wildfires will burn bigger, hotter, and longer. And if that sounds bad, scientists say things will be much, much worse unless we take serious and immediate action. Currently, Newfoundland and Labrador emits more than 10 million tons of CO2 and other greenhouse gases each year. In 2007, we committed to cutting 1 million tons by 2020, a commitment we will badly miss. Our next target is to cut more than 3 million tons by 2030. Most of our greenhouse gas emissions come from two sources: transportation, including our cars, trucks, boats, and plane rides, and large industry, including offshore oil. Making reductions in these areas means putting a price on carbon. We're already paying that price every time we go to the pumps. Today, the gas tax is about 4.5 cents a liter, but it's set to rise each year. Large industries must either cut emissions by specific and escalating amounts each year or purchase greenhouse gas reduction credits from government. Together, these moves are projected to reduce emissions by more than 650,000 tons. Not bad, but it's still a long way from our goal. So what else are we doing? The province's new Climate Change Action Plan outlines a range of strategies: getting cleaner vehicles on the road, incentives for businesses to upgrade equipment, retrofitting our homes and buildings, designing smarter communities, and raising public awareness of environmental issues. When Muskrat Falls comes online, electricity in this province will come almost entirely from renewable sources, achieving a significant cut in emissions. On the other hand, government wants to double offshore oil production in the next 10 years, adding more emissions to provincial and national totals. When you put it all together, we're still a long way from where we need to be. Government admits the scale of the required long-term reduction in greenhouse gas emissions is enormous. It will require the development and application of technologies that do not exist today. So we have a plan, but there's a big gap between our goals and our knowledge of how to achieve them. Meanwhile, time to prevent catastrophic climate change is running out.
Well, maybe as you were watching Zach's report, you were thinking, hey, what can I do? And maybe some of you were thinking that you might want to buy an electric car. Well, Ottawa is giving out up to $5,000 on e-vehicles that cost $55,000 or less. But is an electric car the right vehicle for you? David Common looks at some of the pros and cons of plugging in your ride.
As of today, if you get a zero-emission vehicle like this one, the federal government will give you up to a $5,000 rebate. And look, we're here with an electric vehicle, an electric vehicle, an electric vehicle. All of these electrical vehicles in the place in Canada where there is probably the highest density of EV electric vehicle ownership. It's Salt Spring Island off the west coast of British Columbia. Now, what are some of the sort of the big concerns that people have about electric vehicles? Something like this, it's going to have no problem going 250, 300, 350 kilometers in one charge. But not all electric vehicles are like that. Some of them are more like 50 or 100, 150, a lot of them in and around that 150, 200 range. And that's something that really kind of pushes people back. Those ranges getting a lot further. Even this Nissan Leaf, which was one of the first ones out there on the market, it's seen the range gradually increase. Then there's model selection. Like, look at something like this, a RAV4, it's a bit bigger. Well, we don't actually have vehicles this big, many of them in Canada. This one actually comes out of the US. They don't make it anymore. There are other ones that are larger too, and so vehicle availability, particularly for larger families, that continues to be an issue. There are some plug-in hybrids, so ones that will run for 50 or 60 kilometers on just an electric charge, switch over then to a gas engine. And then there, of course, is the question about charging. So if you look back here, this vehicle is charging right now. How long does that take? Really depends on the charger. There are rapid chargers. They can do a vehicle in 30, 40 minutes. For the most part, though, people are going to be charging at home. It's going to cost you about $1.50, maybe $2 to do a full charge, depending on which province you're in. Other places, yeah, if you're on a road trip, those rare occasions for many people, then there are an increasing number of these chargers right across the country. David Common, CBC News on Salt Spring Island.
I think I can hear somebody cursing and swearing on Joey Smallwood in the background there now.
Undecided takes you to the House of Commons, and you're probably thinking, wait a second, that doesn't look like Ottawa. And you're right. This house is in Heart's Content. Meet some of its honourable members next.
There is a place on Northern Point I need not tell you more, since nothing's quite as famous as William Piercy's store. Between the hauling and the jigging, between the storm and the tide, when the ocean is in motion, the doors are open wide. It is a place where men may meet all through their weary lives. It's a haven from the ocean and a heaven from their wives. It is called the House of Commons, and rightly I am sure, for everything is talked about in William Piercy's store.
Hi, I'm Bailey White, and this is Undecided. We chose this beautiful spring day to visit some hallowed halls. Forget Confederation Building, forget the Colonial Building. No, today we're going to the House of Commons. Welcome to the House of Commons. I know it looks a little smaller than it does on the news. We're here with three honourable members. Let's get them to introduce themselves.
John Warren.
Nice to meet you, John.
Frank Pearson.
Frank.
And I'm Ed Arnott.
Ed, thank you for joining us here. Who can tell me, John, maybe you can tell me a little bit about the history of this building?
Well, this is what your traditional fisherman's twine store was built back in '56, I think it was, Frank? 56.
Right, 56, yeah.
By a fisherman, and keep all his fishing supplies here in the winter time, and twine and nets and that, of course. And then it quickly became a place where fishermen and other people would congregate to sit down and discuss everything from apples to fishing issues and regulations and so on.
Why here?
I really don't know. What attracted people to here? Frank, do you know?
Well, just we had the store and we opened it up and made the fire going, and the judges gathered in.
Yeah.
And they went from that. Every now and then someone come in for a little argument, and, and that's what it's become.
Yeah. So Frank, this is your father's store originally, right?
That's right, yeah.
And he built it in '56, you said?
Yes.
So you'd be a young boy when these first few arguments were starting up.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And then 2009, it all fell down. And in 2009, we rebuilt it again.
Really? I didn't realize it had fallen down completely.
Yeah. It was that way. The walls was all founded in. Me and my son and my grandson built it up again.
And what compelled you to do that? Why did you want to build it up again?
Well, the Heritage want us to do it.
Yeah.
That's why we done it.
And Ed, I know you're involved with the Heritage Society, so tell me a little bit about, from your perspective, why is this an important building?
Well, we in Harris Content have a very long history. We go way back to the 1600s. But if you were here 50 years ago, this is very different today. There were fishing premises all along this shore here, what we call the Northern Point. And there were wharves, there were flakes, there were stores. And this is one of the, I believe this is the only remaining store from that period. And we believe in historic preservation and in trying to keep the things that are worth keeping alive. And really, you would not have, you would not recognize this place today compared to the way it was 50 years ago. And this though, is part of what it was like.
Mm-hmm. So how much like the original store is this what you've rebuilt? It's pretty well the same?
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing,
Yeah. And do you remember ever coming in as a young boy and kind of listening in on some of the arguments and that?
All the time. We've been here all the time, yeah.
We get so far as the door, myself and buddies that are on, same age. And all the men will be in here talking and yarning. Of course, you'd never say anything or interrupt, or you'd never do that. So we stay here for a while, and after the argument was over, well, do we go on again then? But yeah.
I think I can hear somebody cursing and swearing on Joey Smallwood in the background there now.
And is that what it was about, like politics and things of that nature?
Well, everything.
Yeah.
Politics was a big thing, but yeah. And drawing for birds and all this kind of stuff. This was the big thing. Used to draw for trap birds, for setting your cod traps and that kind of stuff.
Right.
That was one of the big things.
That was your livelihood, really?
Yeah.
John, anything you particularly remember, standing in the door, trying to get an ear in, trying to get an eye in? Do you remember any arguments or any big topics?
Usually when we got on the go, it'd be what we call duckish or half dark, and you go in, and if there was any light here, it'd be pretty dim. And you see one fella lying back on the twine with one leg up on the crate, and perhaps getting a smoke, or someone else perhaps having a nap, somebody be nodding, There'd always be a conversation about something and everything. And I remember one of the big things that was discussed way early in the early 60s. Frank here won a color television. And when we came in, everybody was talking about the color television, so nothing for us to do. Our young boys was going to see the color television. First one on the point, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Well, how did you win it?
I won it up to, bought gas up to there the crossroads, and that's what it was, color television. It was a 66. No, come on here, 66.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 66. Come on here, and that's what I won, the color television.
I had $2 for the gas.
How old would you have been then?
50. So, about 20, 21, 20.
So you rebuilt in 2009, and suddenly you got a crowd in again.
Oh, yes.
How'd that happen?
Well, me and George Lane was talking there one evening. That's what we brought up. George brought up. We should get people come in. And that's what we started. We started on us, used to come Saturday evenings in. Yeah. And then that went out, and then we start coming every night after supper, after we get our supper.
And this is a House of Commons, so any rules of decorum or anything like that? Anything that...
No rules. No, they got no smoking on the door, but I don't think too many eats down on it.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we've talked about the history. We're going to talk about life in Heart's Content right now and what to expect in this election. Welcome back to Undecided. I'm Bailey White. We're here in Heart's Content at the House of Commons. So we've talked about the past. I want to ask you a little bit about what life is like in Heart's Content now. So Ed, maybe tell me a little bit about the community and where we are and who lives here.
Well, it's a vibrant community, although we have, as in many parts of Newfoundland, we've seen a decline in population. But I find it's a very vibrant. I moved here 10 years ago, so I'm the new man on the block, right. New kid in town kind of thing. And but I have roots here. I've been visiting Heart's Content ever since I was a little boy. My mom is from here. My grandparents on her side of the family from here, and so on. So I've been coming here since I was a preteen. So I can somewhat compare what it was like then to what it is like now. Mm-hmm. And it's I see, and you can see as you go around town, you'll see some new building going on, some new construction, some homes being restored. So I think there's a lot of vibrancy in the community. There's a lot of activity going on, and I certainly have been, delighted that I decided to move here 10 years ago. It's a fishing community, still a fishing community, and crab fishing especially, and So when it comes to the upcoming election, a lot of people here are concerned about the fishery, state of the fishery, and as I say, especially the crab fishery. And of course, there's a lot of other issues, muskrat fowls and so on.
Frank, what changes do you see from, say, back when you won that color TV to now?
Well, it's big changes.
Yeah.
Big changes since that.
We've had school closures and the cable office, of course, as you know, was the big employer back 100 years ago, and of course that's closed and it's become a museum now. Of course, we get a lot of tourists coming to the area, which we never, before the cable office closed, of course, we never had a lot of tourists. But since they've made it a museum, we get a lot of tourism here in the town. A lot of tourism come down this way to see the House of Commons here, to see the lighthouse. We were talking about it earlier on. I mean, we've had marriages taking place out there. We've had, engagements and proposals and wedding pictures. Everything takes. It's a very popular place on the shore. And we've got a new arts centre here now. Of course, as buildings close down, the town, and in this case our heritage group, acquired the United Church and turned it into an arts centre, and it's a beautiful place there. We get a lot of entertainment, performances there. So it's a nice little town here now, but it's still traditional. Yeah. People still do a lot of fishing is still the main industry here. A lot of hunting goes on here, and so it's traditional still in a lot of ways.
When I came out as a little boy in the 1950s, there were fish flakes everywhere, wharves everywhere, stages and stores. There was sheep shit everywhere, sheep everywhere, flies everywhere. So there's a townie now coming out, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I'd want to live there. Now I'm living here, but it's a very different place.
Yeah.
Very different place, and of course the roads weren't paved back then. To come across the barrens, it took 3 times as long and very dusty, but now of course it's paved, and you've got all the modern conveniences you could want here. Yeah. And so it's a modern little rural community, and a very vibrant one, as I've said before.
You 3 are all retired?
Yeah, pretty near him.
Now, is there much opportunity, do you think, in the area for young people or young families sort of starting out?
Sure. I mean, we're just 15 minutes away from Carbonear, and hour and a half at the most from St. John's, and for some people in Canada, an hour and a half commute is not very long. Now we don't have as many young people as we used to, but it's, you get the odd one coming in.
So what's on your mind when it comes to the next election, and what do you want to hear from candidates?
I don't listen to them. I try to stay away from them.
Do you vote?
I vote, yeah.
Yeah. John, what about yourself?
Tourism, we should be able to capitalize more on tourism here. And the whole province, of course, is seeing an upswing in tourism. And if I talk to a politician or any politician, I think that's what I'd like to know. What can they do to increase the tourists coming here to Heart's Content and to the area, of course. It's good for the whole area.
We talked about the Performing Arts Center here. Is that something that's sort of on your radar, something important to you as voters?
Well, to me personally, being a part of the group that restored the old church into a performing arts center is very important. And I think we've done a lot to bring entertainment to Heart's Content that would not normally, not only to Heart's Content, but to the region, that would not normally have performed here. And we've had some great, we've had about 15 concerts now over the past year and a half, and we have a monthly coffee house, and all of this entertainment would not be here if it wasn't for that arts center. So I think provincial government, federal government funding for the arts is very, very important.
In the spirit of this place, I do want to get into an argument with you now, though, because lots of arguing gone on here. We're talking about arts. I mean, some people are going to say, that's lovely, but we have a huge budget crisis. We need to focus on the essentials, healthcare, electricity rates, paving roads. What do you say to people who say, those are our priorities, this is where we've got to spend our money, because frankly, we don't have any money?
Well, what value do you place on pride, for example? And the pride that you might feel when a Newfoundlander writes a song and has it become an important anthem or a hit even, not only provincially but elsewhere. Like when a Newfoundland artist, perhaps like Alan Doyle or Great Big Sea and so many others, Ron Hines for example, and the music that he's produced. How much pride do we feel, and how important is that to our culture and to our being as Newfoundlanders? Not only the music and songs, but also the theater that we've produced, the comedians especially come to mind, and the contribution we've made nationally to entertainment. Ask yourself how important that is. Yes, there are other priorities, but I certainly think that this type of thing is a priority too.
And John, similarly, there's people out there who still think that resettlement is something that the government should be considering instead of investing in rural, just the opposite. I mean, what do you say? Can we afford to invest in rural communities?
Well, obviously, some small communities are down to 1 or 2 people, and they can't expect the same services that larger areas would get. But you can get some parts of the province where you get communities joining together and becoming a regional section, and that would get services for all of them. And I think that's one possible way. But you just can't let Outport Newfoundland die. I mean, it's too important to our culture, to our heritage, and to the country. I mean, most of Canadians live in cities. And, these people don't know what they're missing. Some of them, they've never been outside of a city. They don't know what it's like to hear the water wash up on the beach or just go for a walk somewhere. And fresh air is unknown to them. So that's too important to let slide.
Seems to me we're being discovered by a lot of that, St. John's, Mount Pearl, CBS area, because we're getting a lot of people coming out here, some to retire, like myself, others who are buying houses out here and coming out in the summer times and maybe plan to retire eventually. So there is that happening.
So the future is bright.
Sure it is.
Yeah, yes.
In spite of all the townies we're getting up.
I think I found the leader of the opposition.
Townies who want to become Bayman.
Well, townies, Bayman alike, honorable members, thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome.
And thank you for watching. I'm Bailey White. This has been Undecided.
We're going to wind down here and now from the CBC newsroom here. This is our temporary digs for a while as we refurbish the here and now sets in preparation for the election. And about the election, don't forget, if you're not on the list or if you've been moving around a bit, you might want to get in touch with Elections NL to make sure that you're registered for the vote. May 16th is coming up. Hope you'll keep on watching. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll take a look tomorrow at who's celebrating anniversaries and birthdays. Hope you'll tune in for that. Karen will have your weather, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. Have a great night.